Hi, everyone, and welcome to Office Hours. My name is Sandra Gonzalez, and I'm the instructor for the online course. If you can't make it for this live video, then this will be the same link that you can access the replay. All right, the way this is going to work is that we're going to spend the first 45 minutes on YouTube on the live stream. After I go through all the slides, I am going to share the link to the Google Hangout. So if you want to get your questions answered in person, we would love to have you join us on the Google Hangout. At 6:45, we are going to end the YouTube live stream, and then we're going to switch to the telephone conference line. Some people feel more comfortable being able to share their concepts when it's not being recorded, okay? I'm also going to share the link to Zoom so that you can follow along in case I need to map something out on my screen. You'll be able to see me there. And just make sure that you dial into the audio for the conference call so that you can hear what we're all talking about. All right, good. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and then we're going to go through some of the content that we've covered this week. If you have any questions while I'm covering this, please type them into the chat room. Okay, and then I'll answer them as we go along. All right, great job on submitting all the homework assignments. Okay. Just as a general reminder, the homework is due by midnight Eastern Standard Time. I know that it's not showing up correctly on the Moodle calendar, so just be aware of that. Just turn them in before midnight, and you will get credit for everything you turn in, although I can't guarantee that I can give feedback on everything that is turned in late. Just be sure to let me know if you have any extenuating circumstances, okay? This is the first class that has not had any trouble logging in and turning in assignments. And actually, you guys, you have all been doing a really good job getting them in early or on time. So I'm actually having a hard time keeping up with everyone. By now, everyone should have received feedback on at least one assignment from me. So this should give you an idea of what I'm expecting from your assignments. The more detail you can give me, the better. So it helps me to understand what you are trying to create with your venture. If for some reason I ask you for more detail, use a feasibility analysis tool that I've either emailed to you or I've posted in the Ask the Expert forum. And that will help you to do a few things. One, it'll answer your question as to whether or not your concept will work. A feasibility analysis tool is data-driven. It's all based on the numbers because numbers are the language of business, okay? So that's what that's used for, and it doesn't even need to be used for a business. It can be used for any project. Specifically what I'm looking for, if I've sent this to you, is a list of your competitors. I just want to know whether or not somebody else is able to make money on this concept. Because if they are, then there's a really good chance that you can do else is able to make money on this concept. Because if they are, then there's a really good chance that you can do it also. Okay, so just really quickly, a feasibility analysis tool answers the question of, will my idea work? Whereas a business plan incorporates the feasibility analysis, also answers the question of, how will this work? Okay, it goes into a lot more detail with your marketing, operations, and everything else. All right, so that is available to you if you should need it in the Ask the Expert forum. Okay, I will send you a copy of these slides later, but they do have all the resources that you need, especially for after the course ends, so that you can continue your industry research and market analysis, okay? So the IVMF resource library, again, you can access this from Moodle, but here are the links so you can just bookmark them. The IVMF VetNet Entrepreneur Track is also a YouTube channel. So if you subscribe to that, you'll get access to a lot of videos on Hoffman Founders School. Also gives a lot of videos on startups as well as the whole lean startup method. So these are the ones that I go to the most and that I recommend to others. And then you've already seen the video for the business research overview. So if you need that again, here are the links for that as well as for niche marketing. That's all part of the VetNet Entrepreneur Track so that you can further segment your markets so you know how exactly to find them. All right. Okay. If you were to, if you need the EBV National Info Portal, you can get to that through Moodle. It's under the course files, and here's the link so you can bookmark it because you can use it for later. But if you go to the actual tab for websites, that'll give you a lot of good resources to continue your market research as well as your industry research, okay? And then it does have some information about the different companies that are not privately held, all right? So that's that. And again, I want to encourage you to continue your research with this because by the last day of EBV, of the residency course, you will be pitching your business to a panel of judges as well as some of your classmates. So you can find that pitch deck in the course files under the EBV pitch template. All right, let me see if I can find my pen here so I can write on this. But it is here under the course files and down here. Okay, so you can just download that. Use your homework assignments to start copying and pasting them into the slide deck, and then you can use the feedback that I've given you to keep working or to improve some of your concepts, all right? Just so that it is clear to others when you are pitching. All right, how to find your NAICS codes. Hopefully most of you have figured this out, but if you are struggling with this, and a lot of times this happens when you have a new venture because you're competing in overlapping industries, use your search engine. Now, if you type it in, and of course, this search engine here is Moodle. When you type it in, if you right-click on the search engine, it'll bring up these other search engines, and then you can select them in different tabs, and they'll all bring up different results because they use different algorithms. Okay, so usually what I use to figure this out is I type in NAICS and then I type in whatever it is, whatever industry that I'm searching for. And that'll give you a list of the different NAICS codes for your industry. And is because if I've sent you some links to IBIZ industry reports, you'll need some of these NAICS codes to be able to request those from your local business counselors, okay? Because there's a lot of different industries out there, and because your venture is so unique that you're going to compete in several of them. And what you'll do with these reports is that they're very thorough, and they'll give you a lot of information. So you'll actually be able to piece together your competitive strategy based on these different reports. Okay, so what is a NAICS code actually used for? You'll figure out your primary, and then you can have as many alternate NAICS as you want. If you're into the procurement space, you'll want to list them on your website as well as your capability statement. It's also a good thing to put in your business plan. And when you are up there presenting the last day of EBV, it's good to let everybody know what industries you're competing in. So as you're filling out business registrations, that's where you're going to put your NAICS codes as well as capability statements. And these you can get online. Just download them, ask friends for copies of theirs so that you know how to fill them out. And if you ever go to procurement workshops, some of them will have some breakout sessions so you can learn what to put in and what people are looking for as they're going through your capability statement. It's basically just a resume for your business so that you can get new business. All right. And then we've talked about this. Get the industry reports for your overlapping industry and then piece together your competitive strategy based on these different reports. Okay. And I am going to email you these slides later, and I will also post them under the replay video that's under day 6 of Moodle. Okay. Just a quick review of some research tools that we've gone over. Again, Size Up. Hopefully you've all gotten a chance to use that. It does work for all of the 50 states within the continental United States. It doesn't work for the territories like Puerto Rico. So as one of your classmates found out, you will have to just do an internet search if you can't use Size Up for the region that you're going to be setting up shop in. And then CENSUS.GOV is where you're going to get a lot of your demographic information. And that's what we're looking for as we're going through your assignments, as well as the feasibility analysis tool analysis tool or a business plan. It's all data driven. So make sure that you're using Census.gov for either regional or state, or if you're a national business, you know, some of you can have online classes. I'm thinking specifically of Gwen and Stephen and Lance. Then you can use a national, you can use the demographics from the country based on your market segments. All right. Okay. If you have any questions, please. Oh boy, please just type them into the chat room. Is link that I sent to an old video. Oh no. So did I? I hope I didn't send the wrong link. I'm gonna have to. Let me see. Let me share this again. Let me copy and paste this. And I'm going to send out an email to everybody. Seth, how did you find this link if I sent out the wrong link? All right, let me find my office hours. Yeah, hold on. No wonder no one is on here. I was wondering about that. Oh, it is the wrong link. My apologies. Okay, so let me send this again. And I hope everybody can join us.
Hi, Sandra. This is Deanna here.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you're here.
Hi. I was just having a little trouble getting on. I'm driving again, and the weather's kind of bad, so I think that might be affecting my service. So I might be in and out, but I'll keep logging in and logging out if I lose you.
Okay, sounds good. I think I sent the wrong link, and so what I'm doing right now is sending the new one. So let me just, I just need to find my email list, and I'm going to send it to everybody. So Seth, thank you for catching that. And I'm resending it to everybody right now. I'm still here. I'm just typing. That's why I'm not saying anything to anyone. Okay, you found it from my main page. Oh, thanks, Seth. Oh my goodness, I am so sorry. Okay, when everybody starts showing up, I'm going to apologize again. So anyway, all right, sizeup.com. Hopefully you've all gotten a chance to play with that and see how that works. Okay, especially for those of you who are running service businesses like Seth and then Rod. Trying to think who else, and maybe even Carol with her professional organizer business. Yeah, she'll need local customers. All right, let's go to the next slide. The main thing that I like about SizeUp is not only can you map out your local competitors, it helps you figure out how much they're spending in your category. So if you go to the right and use a drop-down arrow, each of these different shaded regions represents the amount that your customers are spending. So if you're looking for a, you know, maybe if you're looking for the higher income clients, then you're going to want to set up shop in the red. But if you're targeting lower income clients, then definitely in the yellow. Okay, so Target and Walmart are really good at doing this. Target will only set up, actually in some cities, they'll only allow Target to set up because they want everything high end, and it kind of just keeps out the lower income people. So it really depends on who your target market is. So that's what that's for. All right, let's go to the next one. And then Census.gov, use the quick facts. That tends to be the easiest way to find information about your demographics. So I know some of you are struggling with this. If you're not sure of who who your customers are yet. If you start with a regional number, that's just a good way to guess for now until you actually have a chance to test your products on your market. A good rule of thumb is just use 1%. See if 1% of the customers for that region will buy your products or services, and then come up with some projections based on that. We've had students from all sorts of industries, like really unique industries, and we've had a hard time helping them find information about their target market, like vegans. Who else? And there are some adult businesses too. You can't find that information anywhere. So just try using 1% of that target market and then develop your financials from there. It'll just give you a starting point. Okay. All right. And then some more about Census.gov. You're going to get a lot of this later through the librarian from Syracuse. Again, just plug in your city or state and then select the fact. Okay. And then it'll give you population estimates. For those, we've got a lot of really good, unique businesses here, and some of you will probably need capital later on. So here's a list of some of the competitions. Some of them involve investors, and those are going to be on this side with the pitch competitions. Okay. So Startup Compete is a platform where you can go and register, and you can either look for investors, or you can look for competitions, and investors can come and find you. So if that's something that interests you, then you can look into that. But that one's really big. It's run by the Kauffman Foundation. And if you're going to compete in like the Veterans Biz Battle, which is in Houston, that's the largest funded business plan competition for veterans. That's where you're going to actually go to Startup Compete to fill out your application. And then Street Shares also has grant competitions for the military community. Those are really good, but I think it works well if you have a strong social media following. And then some of you, we've got a couple of people in the technology app space. The Techstars has a Patriot Boot Camp just for veterans, the whole military community. And that's a really good chance for you to network with investors, ones who have been vetted, as well as technology experts from different industries. So I think they also have competitions, but that's a real hands-on conference where you do a lot of work with peers to develop a concept. So that's available to you. And then Inc. Magazine, they have the military entrepreneurship program as part of their different conferences. Okay. It's called MEP. I'm just going to write the initials, MEP. And what this allows is you get into the conference for free, but you pay for your room and board, pay for your hotel, your meal, some of your meals, not all of them, as well as your transportation, but you get the conference fee waived, and you get to see some amazing speakers at the Inc. conferences. There's several of them throughout the year, and they have breakout sessions just for the military where they bring in speakers. I've been to a couple of them. I've gotten to meet some of the editors. You try and pitch to them to get your story told in their magazine. So that's a fabulous conference. And then if you're looking for grants, so School Safe, Chris's idea could qualify for an SBIR grant. So anyway, these are some of the different sources of funding available to you as you move further along. Okay. All right. My apologies, everybody, for sending the wrong link. Okay. So I should have caught that. So thank you, Seth, for helping me with that. Okay. Seth has bailed me out on several things. So I'm really grateful that somebody pointed that out. Okay. All right. And remember, you will have access to this video after it's done, so you can review what I've already covered. All right. So if you are applying for a grant, Grants.gov is the place to go. The main thing you need to do is go to the grant agencies, because it's going to tell you which departments are offering these competitions, and they have them for all sorts of things. The National Institutes for Health, National Science Foundation, And then the USDA. So Cameron, I don't know if your cattle would qualify. I thought they had something for ranchers. So there might be a grant competition for you, because they actually have some specifically for veterans. There are special programs where they're trying to encourage more farming from veterans. So anyway, take a look at that, and I'm happy to answer your questions about it. Okay. Okay, here are all the grant-making agencies. They do offer grants to both for-profit and nonprofit entities. And sometimes what they do is they look for you to team with either a nonprofit, like I'm thinking of Stephen, because some of his educational programs can apply to this, okay? I'm trying to think of who else, but as it comes to my mind, I will I'll let you guys know. But take a look at that and type in the keywords of what you do and see if you qualify for any of these. So look, Department of Agriculture, Commerce, Defense, Education, Energy, Health and Human Services. I'm thinking Department of Commerce, Chris with an L in his transportation company. All right, let's go to the homework. I know that I'm pushing you to do a little bit more. And the reason for this, as I mentioned earlier, is because you are going to be presenting this at the end of the residency course. Okay, so what I talked about before I realized that I gave the wrong link was here. I'm going to go ahead and move to that first slide. Is that you will be presenting your business idea at the end of the residency course. So I want you to take the homework assignments and the feedback that I've given you and put them in the pitch template. You actually could get started on that now. You can download the pitch template from the course files in Moodle, and then you can start mapping out some of the slides there. But anyway, the reason for this was, let me go back. Let me go ahead and go back to the market segmentation slide. So the reason I'm trying to get you to do a little bit more with these assignments is so that it'll make it a little bit easier for one, when you present to your classmates and a panel of judges on that last day, but also so that you will have a plan that you can present to other people, whether it's, a bank or investors, or just trying to get your family to buy into your idea so that it makes sense to them. All right. So let's talk about customer segments. Okay, the market segmentation. There's a video with Guy Kawasaki, and he talks about how people will use your products or services in ways that you don't expect. So that's why you're going to map them out into different segments. And this one is really business to consumer. And I got this online. It was an example from Starbucks. So they have their different market segments: urban professionals, moms, college students. They had an entire list. And they listed their demographics of people who normally come in and do business with them. And then they took it a step further, and then they specified how they would market to each of these different segments. So for urban professionals, it's your college graduates who are making more than, I just made up these numbers, $40,000, $50,000 a year. They have disposable income. So they're looking for a coffee shop with that unique experience. And they have hip decor, and it has that special ambiance that makes it feel like you're in a European coffee shop. The main thing with all of your customer segments is you want to track what percentage of them make up your total market. So these numbers are all made up. So maybe about a third of their customers are urban professionals. And then maybe more of them are moms, because they need to get their coffee on the go, but they're also bringing their kids in. So Starbucks offers cookies, pastries, as well as a rewards app to get these moms to come in and spend their money. So as you are coming up with your marketing, as well as your products and services, you need to think about who your customers are, how much they're spending, and what the customers are looking for, so that you can market to them appropriately. And then you want to track how many of them, or how much of your business is coming from each of these different segments, so that you can try and get the repeat business, because 90% of your business will come from repeat customers. All right. So that's business to consumer. So that's just one example. And you don't always have to do it based on who the customer is, although you should. Sometimes, like in the beauty industry, they just do it based on the products. Okay, sometimes it's really hard to narrow down who these people are. Now, for those of you in the procurement space, I want to say it's about 1/4 of the class. These are some ways that you can get more business. If you type in supplier diversity or doing business with, and then type in the name of the Fortune 500 company, you type this into their website, it'll bring up a portal where you can register to do business, okay? I actually went to one of these meetings through MetLife, and what they encouraged us to do was, after you apply through their portal, is to request a 10-minute meeting with that point of contact, so that you can tell them in less than 10 minutes what it is that you do, what value you bring to them, and and if you have any of the certifications, that's great too, because if you give them great service and you have those certifications, now they have more reason to keep coming back and doing business with you. So that's one way to get business through the corporate supplier diversity programs, and this includes businesses like Walmart, Sam's, okay? And some of them have special conferences where you can go and learn to do business with them. Now, you can do business with corporations. You can do business with the government. This is the federal government. And then don't forget that you also can do business with your state as well as your city. And the state one has a different website, so you'll have to register to do business there. Okay, good. And Stephen brought up a really good point. So he uses FedConnect. Once you actually meet with your procurement, it's called the PTAC, Procurement Technical Assistance Center. So a lot of times they will put you on their mailing list, and they'll subscribe you to these different programs where you get opportunities based on your industry. Okay, good. So FedConnect is the Government Acquisition and Grants Portal. Okay, so I've never heard of that. So good. Thank you for sharing that. All right, so there's different ways to get business through procurement. And then there are also matchmaking events. Again, if you register to do business, or if you speak with a PTAC officer and they get you all registered, they'll give you all this information so that you can meet directly with the program managers from the different agencies, either in your state or even at a federal level. All right. There's also a free website, the North American Procurement Council, and that can give you access to each of the different states to see what opportunities come available. And then, Steve, are you registered with the GSA schedule and FedBid as well? So those are, the GSA schedule is like the government's version of a catalog where people can find you. Same thing with FedBid. Okay, that one's a commercial product. But that way you're not always having to search for an opportunity. People can just look for your products and services whenever they need you. All right? Okay.
Sandra, I don't know if you can hear me very well because it's raining pretty hard, but I did want to add here that one thing we're going to do this year that we have not done in the past is because we have a fourth of the class in procurement, we are going to take a portion of, we're going to do a session where a portion of the class will be in a class called Business to Business, and the other one will be Business to Consumer. So those who are kind of in that procurement area will be able to get some direct, have a direct session on that for this year. I just wanted to add that in.
Wait, did you say that was going to be at the residency course?
Yes, that will be at the residency course as something new that we're adding this year based on, the class and the industry. And that's what we like to do is, we can, make some flexibility in our class that way. So, it'll be one class period. It'll be about a 2-hour class. And the groups the businesses that are in that procurement, about the fourth of the class will be in the business to business, doing businesses with other businesses class, and then the other group will be in the doing businesses with consumers class.
Okay, that's great. Did you all catch that? Okay, so that was a nice addition to your residency course where you'll actually get information specific to your industry. All right, good. Do we have any questions so far? Okay, so Steve, you are on FedBid. Okay, GSA, that's on my list to do too. But at some point I'm going to get on that. So those are good ways to find more business, or at least get some traction with people being able to find you. Okay, who all do we have joining us? I know I messed up sending the wrong link, but if you have any questions, go ahead and start typing them in. I'm going to go through one of the homework assignments for next week. And a lot of people tend to have trouble with this one. So that's why I wanted to talk about the contribution margins. Okay, so basically it's a formula. When you are pricing your products and services, you want to know what your margins are. So the contribution margin is this formula here in yellow. It's your sales price minus your variable costs divided by your sales. So it's expressed as a percent. So I'm actually using Seth's example, although I know I was just making up the numbers just to show him the process. But your variable costs, just as a quick review for some of you, are your expenses that go up in relation to your sales. So in this case, he's a service. I honestly don't know how much he spends in supplies, but I just made up a number. So let's say he spends $10 in supplies every time he goes to do a job for the dustless sandblasting. Okay, and his labor costs are $50 for a small 1-hour job. So his variable cost will end up being $60. Okay, so if we were to plug this all in, let's say he charges $125. Okay, I don't know if that's right or not, but you plug in your numbers. So if it's so you're going to subtract from the sales price your variable cost. So 125 minus 60 equals $65, and then we're going to divide it by the sales price to get this percentage. So the percent is 52%, or he makes $65 off of the sale of this type of job. Okay, so as you're going through your homework next week, try doing this. Try using this formula on one of your products or services. Okay, as a general rule of thumb, what people do to make this easier is that they will just use like a 50% contribution margin across the board. So if they have several services or products, they'll price everything so that every time they sell something, that one unit, they make 50% of what they sell. Although this does depend, this will differ based on your industry, because some of them have higher contribution margins, just like in the software industry. Okay, those are about 60%. And then some of them will have lower contribution margins. I want to say your nursing homes, restaurants, okay, just because there's more involved with that labor. So you can look that up online, just contribution margins based on industry, and it'll give you those results. But that's how you figure this out for the homework assignment next week. It's something you're going to have to do. You're going to have to figure out your pricing. So go ahead and try it now. It doesn't matter if you get it wrong, because it's on paper and it's a safe place to fail. All right. So hopefully that'll answer your some questions about next week. Does anyone have any questions so far? What I'm going to do, I've gone through all of the slides, and I can open it up for questions right now if anyone has anything. Deanna, do you have anything for the group? Okay. So, Steve, this is a good comment. Oh, go ahead, Deanna.
Trying.
Okay. Well, Steve, it's good to know that information about the GSA. So when you get to Syracuse, there are quite a few of your classmates who are going to be in the procurement space. So it would be great for you to share that feedback with them as well. Okay, what else can I answer for everyone? We have, let me see, we have about 8 more minutes before we need to switch over to the telephone conference line. What I can do too, I don't know if anyone wants to join us. I'm going to share the link to Google Hangouts in the chat room. Okay. Oh, hi, Aquanetta. How are you? Good. I'm so glad you all are joining us. And even if you're getting here late, don't worry, because we are going to switch to the telephone conference line here really soon, and we'll still get to finish this conversation, and we can work anything out. You'll be able to see my screen. So if you need me to help you with some of the industry research, you'll be able to see it live. Okay, great job on the homework assignments. Thank you again for being patient. It does take me a while to get through all of them, especially if I have to do some research on your industry. Okay, because then it takes a little bit longer. What can I answer for you guys about the online course? Anything? Okay, and if you have any questions for Deanna, I can forward them to her after this is over. You know what, Steve? I'm sure that will come up. There's always an SBA representative at the residency course. So if you do need that information, then yeah, they can share that with you. Deanna, the question, if you can hear me, the question was, will we be discussing getting VA certification verification as a veteran-owned small business or as a service-disabled veteran-owned small business at the online or residency course?
Yes. Sorry, I'm having trouble going in and out of that service. But if you can hear me, yes, you will be getting that.
You're breaking up, Deanna. So if you all caught that, you will get that at the residency course, but not so much with the online course. Okay, good. These are good questions. Seth, I think this would be good for you as well. Go ahead, Deanna. So Aquanetta, with your sorry, Deanna, we can't hear you. You keep coming in and out. Yeah, the whole certification, veteran verification has changed. And I went to a conference for that, and it was almost too much information, but they are requiring now that that their veterans are, showing some proof of their veteran status. And I just renewed my SAMS registration, and I had to send in that notarized letter. Yes, Seth, I'm talking about contracts. So Deanna, if you can hear me, will Chris Dombach be at the residency course? Because Seth, he would be a really good person for you to talk to. He started a landscaping business, and I think he's just gotten some federal contracts, but he started it small. So it's more than just, mowing lawns. It started with lawn mowing, and I think they do some, when it snows, I forgot what it's called, but when they clear the snow removal, they have the machines for that. So with the dust list sandblasting, I can see more need for it too with some of the different commercial companies. Maybe if you can just even get a small portion of whatever contract that they need you for, that would be great. So Aquanetta, your business is, I'm sorry, I'm just checking the time really quick. You're business to consumer, and you're also business to business. So once your pillows are manufactured, you could go both routes. Okay, trying to market directly to to consumers who have sleep apnea, as well as to medical supply stores, trying to see if insurance companies can pay for those pillows. And some of, like, for your market, your niche market or your target market, not just people, the people who have sleep apnea have conditions like COPD, congestive heart failure, even sometimes asthma. So those people need, those patients need to be elevated when they sleep. So yeah, once you're in that process of developing it, it needs to be tested, but you have all sorts of different opportunities to market that product once it's done. Okay, so both the Fed bid, I would look and see how much it would cost to get onto the GSA schedule, because now you can market to hospitals as well. Okay, especially if it's considered a medical supply. We have about 2 more minutes left on the YouTube live stream. So if anyone else has any questions before we start switching over. Yeah, Seth, I think that would be a really good option for you too. All right. Especially if you have, and I know it's all in your homework assignment. You mentioned other things, other capabilities that it could transfer to that could grow into a bigger business than just the dust list sandblasting. And the other thing is that if you're really good at getting business, which I think you are because you are always hustling, then you would just be doing the business development and turning it all over to your technicians. I mean, this could be a home-based business where, well, if they can get the machines at a reasonable cost where people can work for themselves. Okay, so this is why it takes me forever to get through these homework assignments, is because I take the time to read it and to understand what it is that you're trying to do and who your target markets are. All right. Okay, it's 6:45 on the East Coast. I'm going to go ahead and stop this broadcast. Just give me a few minutes. I need to dial into the conference room, but here, let me put the link for Zoom into the chat room, and then I will see you there. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so my link for Zoom will never change, although the link for the YouTube live stream tends to change. Okay, good. For those of you who can't see the chat room, Deanna is going to send out information for the phase 2 logistics tomorrow. She also wrote that you're going to receive certification information in phase 2. Okay, good. Thank you, Deanna. You're going to have a lot of great speakers during the residency course, and it's a good chance to get all of your questions answered. So I encourage you to do as much as possible in the homework assignments, put as much detail in there as possible so that when you are at the residency course, you'll be a little bit better prepared and you'll be able to articulate your business concept in a way that makes sense to everybody so they can give you some meaningful resources, okay? All right, super. I'm going to end this. I will see you all in a few minutes on the telephone conference line. Go to day 6, and it's listed there. And then don't forget to copy and paste that link into Zoom. You don't need to download it, anything. All right, see you all soon. Bye for now.